Good morning. Now it's safe to say that crime has existed as long as humans have been on this planet. But did you know that there's a recipe for crime that allows you to create crime where none may exist? True story. So let's break this down into two parts, the recipe and the application. Part 1, the recipe. People minus resources plus proximity and opportunity equals crime. Let me say it again. People minus resources plus proximity and opportunity equals crime. So how do you apply that? Well, here are your instructions. So you start off with a bunch of people and you place them in an economically depressed area where all the good paying jobs in grocery stores have been removed and been replaced with gas stations, liquor stores, and pawn shops. The reason you want to do that is because now you have a group of people with little to no income and no access to nutritious food who have a bunch of bills and are now hungry, who then go to the liquor store to self-medicate while other economically depressed people are waiting for the opportunity for you to leave so that they can steal whatever you have, bring it to the pawn shop to get money to either feed their family or their addictions. And that's how you create crime where none exists. Because creating crime justifies policing, and policing justifies locking people up, and locking people up fulfills the state's contracts that they signed with private prisons to keep those prisons at 80 to 90% occupancy, even though crime rates have fallen. And all of that provides the United States government with a labor force that they can pay slave wages to, because in the United States, slavery is a form of punishment for anyone who's been convicted of a crime. That's the end game. That's the entire purpose of creating crime. And that's why they call it the projects. Because the end goal is to justify the criminalization and the enslavement of an entire group of people, making it legal for them to arrest our leaders, raid our homes, break up our meetings, and then vilify us night after night on the evening news, and they knew they were lying about it. And that's why they call it the projects, because the project was to figure out how to create crime where none exists. Also, black on black crime doesn't exist. It's a myth created by white supremacists to support the notion of black criminality. Now, the notion of black criminality stems from us simply existing within white spaces, because us being off the plantation was something suspicious. And after the emancipation of enslaved Africans, the very first law that went into effect was vagrancy laws. And vagrancy laws meant anybody who didn't have a job or a means to support themselves or a place to stay was a vagrant. And who were the vagrants of the day? The newly freed enslaved Africans who didn't have a plantation to work on. And overnight, the prison population went from 95% white to 95% black, where we were leased back to the plantations we were just freed from.